In this R for Excel users video, I'm going to quickly show you how to do the equivalent of an if function in Excel, like the example on screen, in R using an if function in the dplyr package. So without further ado, let's head over to our studio. So this one's going to just be a very quick one, and to kick off all we're going to do is do the loading in of the file that I'm going to be using. I have this saved in my documents folder, so this is why I don't have the root going from the C drive. It's just picking up directly from the documents folder, so I just need the name and then using the sheet data. So if we load that in, we now have our data. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be using the dplyr package. So you can do an if function straight out of R without loading in any packages. But the great thing about using different packages are it just makes it a lot easier to kind of batch your code and build everything in. And then also I'm going to be adding a column so you can see the data. And again, you would need to use dplyr to do this. So the first thing you want to do is type in install.packages and then write in dplyr. And then if we run that, and then once you've got that installed, then we need to actually load in the library, which you do by typing in library and then in the brackets dplyr again. And click run, and now that's all loaded in. So now we've got this loaded in, we now want to create a new column in our data set and then replace the current data set with the extra column. And as you'll notice here, where it says 8 variables, it will become 9, and in R the variables are columns. So all we need to do is set what we're going to call our data frame, which we're going to keep it the same name, and then we're going to say what data we're going to use. Now you can add it in here, but I like doing the piping to make each step more easier to explain when going through these tutorials. So we put in that data set and then we use the pipe function again, and then this time we're going to use a function called mutate. And what mutate allows you to do is build on your own columns. So if you wanted to do various different things, you wanted to have a column that gave you averages or other parts, which I'll do in a later video, it just gives you that functionality to be able to just add on that additional column by another function. And then in this case, what we're going to do is create a new column called new underscore case underscore range. And the reason why I have the underscores is you can't have spaces when using R. I could have joined them all together, but it just looks more visually pleasing when you've actually got the spaces in the form of an underscore. So this would be your new column. So once we have this run, a new column will appear here, given our breakdown based on the new cases. And then once you've typed in what you want to name your column, you're then going to say equals, and then you put in the function. And as I mentioned, we're going to be using the if underscore else function. So the if underscore else function works exactly the same as you do when you use the if function in Excel, where you take the first point where you want to say what is the column you want to look at to then get the data for each row. I want to see a bucketing of all cases that are either over 3,500 or between 0 and 3,500. So all I do is put in new cases as my actual column that I want to pick up that data from. And then we're going to be using the arrow to show we want to go above 3,500. And then you do a comma. And then this is where you state if this is true, put in what you want to call it. In this case, I'm putting in as text is 3,500 plus, and then a comma. And then for what anything else is, which is anything below 3,500, then I've done 0 hyphen 3,500. So if I was to run this now, you'll see this will go to 9, and at the end here we'll have a new column broken out by the number of cases. So as you can see, we now have 9 variables instead of 8, and then if we click on here, we now have case range. So as we can see here, because these are less than 3,500, we have that bucket, but if we scroll down, we can start to see where there's more. So there you've got ones that are in the 34,000, 4,000, 10,000. All these are now telling you that they are over 3,500. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and leave any comments to let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover in my next videos. And as always, until next time.